What's going on, everyone? It's your boy back again, with a breakdown that might just blow your minds. I woke up today and saw the internet going crazy about Playboi Carti's new album. 30 songs, out of nowhere, jam-packed with features and swirling rumors about one name in particular, Kendrick Lamar. That's right, the Compton boogeyman is on 3 separate tracks, and the talk is that he not only contributed verses, but possibly oversaw some creative direction, or so the rumor said. Now, whether Kendrick was truly the puppet master behind the scenes is still up for debate, but the facts remain. He's on the album, he's loud about it, and a lot of people are reading these verses as pointed shots at none other than Drake. A few days back, DJ Academics claimed to have inside info from Carti himself. He said Kendrick was not only featured, but was steering the entire project's creative direction. Supposedly, that included possibly vetoing any Drake verses, which means we're not seeing them on the final track list. Now, who knows how much of that's accurate? Carti's producer stepped up to say it's all cap. Kendrick didn't executive produce a thing. Still, there must be some truth mixed in because Kendrick shows up 3 times, and these collabs don't feel random. It seems like Carti and Kendrick have been locked in for a minute, cooking something that merges Carti's vampire, rage-infused vibe with Kendrick's boogeyman presence. The track everyone is losing their minds over is called Good Credit. Even before you get deep into it, Carti's lines are stirring up speculation that he's sending shots at Drake. He says something about having the whole world on sixes, and if you read between the lines, it might imply he's the originator of the six wave, or at least he's claiming Drake hopped on it too late. We know Toronto is the 6, and Atlanta's also referred to as Zone 6. Carti's bar? He want my swag, I got the whole world on sixes, you're too late. Has people thinking he's saying Drake jacked the 6 from Atlanta's culture. Maybe it's a stretch, maybe it's not. Then you have the track's highlight, Kendrick's verse. The man pops off calling himself the boogeyman, referencing the rumor he's got an ops list miles long, and even alluding to Drake's numbers and money brag in their prior friction. Kendrick basically shrugs and says the money and numbers mean nothing if you're really about your craft. He also calls Carti his evil twin, matching that vampire aesthetic with his own ominous persona. What's especially interesting is the way Kendrick sounds like he's stepping fully into Carti's world without sacrificing his own lyrical weight. He's not diluting anything. This isn't Kendrick trying to do baby voice ad-libs or forcing some out-of-character flow. He's staying 100% himself, sharp, layered, aggressively self-assured, while writing these wild, chaotic beats that Carti's known for. It's impressive because that rage production can feel repetitive to outsiders, and a more traditional rapper might have come across stiff, but Kendrick manages to keep it fresh. He jumps on the track, drops all these double-meaning bars about tours, watch references, and possibly Drake's bundling tactics, and then dips. It's a strong statement piece. And there are 2 other tracks, Mojo Jojo and Backdoor, where Kendrick also appears, although in lower key capacities compared to Good Credit. On Mojo Jojo, he mostly does ad-libs and a few scattered lines. Meanwhile, Backdoor is a more melodic, slower joint that leans R&B, complete with SZA harmonizing in the background. Kendrick only does partial vocals, but it's a curious pairing on such a high-energy album. If anything, it shows the scope of Carti's approach. He didn't limit himself to one corner of hip-hop. He's dabbling in R&B, classic trap, and that signature rage sound. It's a giant scattered project of 30 songs, so there's probably something for every kind of hip-hop listener, though it also means there's filler. Now, people are pointing out how ridiculous the album rollout was. Carti's been teasing this project since 2022, changing titles from 2024 Music to who knows what, then finally settling on I Am Music. It references Lil Wayne's iconic I Am Music tattoo in the 2009 tour Wayne did under the same banner. Carti dropped random singles all throughout 2024, often at the same gas station location for the music videos, which only fueled confusion. Then 2024 ended. Fans were left hanging, and 2025 rolls around with a brand new official title that's not 2025 Music, but I Am Music. To top it off, it's enormous. 30 tracks is a lot to digest, especially when the vibe is so frenzied. If Kendrick really had final say, some people believe he wouldn't have let it swell to this length. But the rumor is that the rumor was just that, a rumor. With that in mind, the question is, did Drake get intentionally sidelined? We know Drake had recorded some material with Carti. Academics even said he'd heard Drake on a couple of tracks, but because Kendrick supposedly had the wheel, those might have been cut. No official word supports that, but fans have latched onto it, especially when you see subtle lines from Carti or from Kendrick that might reflect tension with Drake. Plus, it's no secret Drake's had friction with both of them at different points. Everyone remembers Drake and Kendrick's low-key rivalry dating back to the Control verse era, and the more recent dust-ups have only fanned the flames. Kanye West also found a way to appear in this story, apparently hating on Kendrick's presence. People say Kanye tweeted something like, "I don't need to hear him on Carti's album." Kanye's been in a weird spot for years, flipping between praising and shading Drake, Travis Scott, Rocky, and now Kendrick. It's consistent with Kanye's admitted jealousy, feeling overshadowed or replaced by younger artists. Carti used to collaborate heavily with Ye. Kanye's coming out with off-the-cuff criticisms. Maybe that's a reason we don't see him featured anywhere on I Am Music. As for the other features, you've got major names: Travis Scott, Future, Young Thug, The Weeknd, Lil Uzi Vert, SZA, Ty Dolla $ign, and even Skepta. It's a feature buffet, each one adding a different dimension, showing how Carti wanted to broaden his sound. The Travis Scott collaborations are particularly telling because there are a few of them. Travis's voice often slides right onto those ominous, rage-heavy tracks. The Weeknd's cameo feels more melodic. Rather Lie might end up charting well, considering it's a bit more radio-friendly. The same goes for Backdoor, which has that laid-back R&B feel, offsetting the overall chaos. Reactions to the record have been mixed. Some fans love the unhinged vibe and say it matches Carti's brand. Others argue it's repetitive, too sprawling, and overshadowed by the guess. The general consensus is that it's an improvement on his usual formula, or at least more accessible to broader listeners. Tracks like Crush, K-pop, and Crank still channel that hyper, borderline screeching energy that casual fans struggle to connect with. On the other hand, more mainstream-friendly cuts, especially those leaning on bigger names, are being singled out as potential hits. And ironically or not, Good Credit is the one that has people buzzing the most, thanks to Kendrick's show-stopping verse. All of this points to a new era for Kendrick as well. After dropping major projects, winning big in 2024 with his album, and the high-profile rap beef that played out in real time, he's now on tour and apparently setting up a monstrous feature run. Being on 3 Carti tracks is not something most fans would have predicted a few years back, but it shows Kendrick's willingness to experiment. He's stepping into different pockets of the genre without toning down his trademark lyricism. As far as Drake is concerned, you can call it petty or you can call it strategy. Maybe it's both. Fans are dissecting every bar, searching for references to bundling, Drake's merch tactics, numbers, or snitching, all while referencing prior incidents. It's a puzzle that keeps conversation swirling, which only benefits Carti's album rollout. At the end of the day, I Am Music is a chaotic album with a surprising synergy between Carti and Kendrick. It's got bangers, it's got more melodic joints, and it's got plenty of references to keep fans guessing whether Drake is being quietly dissed. It's also huge, making it hard to digest in one sitting, but if you find the right songs like Lie, Good Credit, some Travis Scott features, and maybe that Backdoor track with subtle harmonies, there's definitely replay value. Is it a masterpiece? That probably depends on whether you're a dyed-in-the-wool Carti fan or more of a casual listener. Still, it's definitely the kind of project that will have the culture talking for weeks, especially with rumors swirling that this is just the kickoff to more high-profile Kendrick features. So that's where we stand. We've got rumors about Drake and Carti tracks buried in someone's vault, possible creative direction from Kendrick, and a 30-song album that tries to juggle the demands of mainstream trap fans, the younger rage crowd, and even the old heads who perk up at the slightest sign of lyrical warfare. If you've been waiting to see whether Kendrick would keep pressing Drake post-beef, you might find your answers in the lines on Good Credit, or you might say they're all too subtle to confirm. Either way, it's a fascinating development in this never-ending saga of rivalries, alliances, and unpredictable collaboration. Let me know what you think of the album, Kendrick's verses, and whether Drake really got iced out by the boogeyman. As always, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep your eyes open. Because in hip-hop, the drama never sleeps.